All right, everyone. We'll lead off as we had mentioned earlier. Coach mentioned today at noon. That's part of the reason why we were a little bit delayed getting in here. I was putting out a release. Bednarik Award given to the College Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive end for Marshall, Mike Green, semifinalist. He leads in 5 different statistical categories in FBS. Sacks with 13, tackles for loss 17.5, sack yardage, tackle for loss yardage, and he leads all defensive linemen in FBS in tackles with 60. Questions for Mike?
Great start. Yeah, Coach used the phrase when the team has success, then individual accolades and awards come along with that. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, for sure. When your team is having success and you gain extra games, that allows you to have more film out there and creates more opportunities for you to make more plays. Of course, if you're playing in more games and stuff like that. When everybody that's on the defense is doing what they're supposed to do, that kind of allows opportunities for guys to make more plays. Like if the other 3 D linemen are doing what they're supposed to do, and the running back runs right into my gap, like of course I'm going to make a play because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I kind of think it just correlates with everybody just doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Coach has talked a little bit about how with Coastal Carolina offensively, it's like week 3, compared to where they've been the same all year long. And what have you seen? What's maybe stood out to you as far as where they're at right now in their offense?
I think their offense is kind of trying to decide what they want to do. We're not for sure what they're trying to do. I know they run triple option the last game, and before that they were more like a base offense kind of team running inside zone and stuff like that. So we're not completely sure what we should be getting, but I think they're a good team. They've been fundamentally sounded since I could even remember. They always been the team that everybody had respect for. So I think it's going to be a good challenge for us for sure.
Mike, with that, you have to pay particular attention to their quarterback. Obviously, they do some triple option stuff, and he's quite a runner, a physical guy, so he's going to be a challenge for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. The quarterback, he's a good player for sure. We just got to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. If one person has the dive, if one person has the quarterback, and one person has the pitch, then each one of our guys got to be in those on their keys and stuff like that. So if we want to eliminate what they do, we have to do what we're supposed to be doing.
Mike, could you talk a little bit about just what this week means? And Coach talked about how it's not just one week and how it's spread out from beginning to end. It's just not like, okay, this is it's 75 week, then we move on. For you, what's that experience like? What's this mean? And is there any added pressure for you knowing the importance and what this game means to the community?
I think it brings a lot of importance simply because of we want to bring back the remembrance of them, and our coach kind of touched on this yesterday. Is like we play every day for the 75. This game that's coming up is just going to be just a remembrance for them. So we kind of just have that mentality throughout the whole year. It's just like we're playing for these 75 guys and girls for sure. So I think. Our playing style just kind of like resembles how we're trying to stand up for the people that were in the plane crash, and I think it's very important that we go out there and we play our best, and how we play is going to be the kind of respect that we have for them.
When you look at the success you guys have had defensively, obviously, prevented Southern Miss from scoring a touchdown last week, and that's hard to do against anybody. But do you take, as you build that, portfolio each week for you guys, do you take pieces of what worked, or have you kept the game plan more consistent and where your strengths are and are kind of relying on those?
Yeah, I think our defense and our defense coordinator and our coaches kind of know what our strengths and weaknesses are. They do a good job of hiding our weaknesses and bringing out our strengths for sure. I think our defense just does a good job with making sure that they're doing the right thing. So, I mean, we kind of just go by week about what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And I feel like that kind of just brings out the kind of success that we've been having on defense is kind of like picking out what we're doing good and leaving out what we're doing bad.
When did you get your first look at the helmet that you guys are going to wear? Obviously special every year, but to see that helmet and realize the significance behind it with Coach Dawson helping design that, what were your overall thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I think we all got a soul tie with Coach Red, and he's just somebody that we just walk by and we just have tremendous respect for. And I think it's very nice how he was able to come up with the design. I know a lot of guys have respect for him, so it kind of just brings a little bit more, not pressure, but it brings a little bit more influence of how the way that we want to play and how we see the helmet and all things like that. So I think it's real special when we put these new helmets on and be able to go out there and show our respect.
A lot of guys got playing time on the defensive side, and a couple of those guys stepped up and made big plays against Southern Miss last week. As a veteran, as an older guy in that room, what's it like to see some of those younger guys in terms of experience go in and make the most of their opportunity?
Yeah, so for us older guys, it brings a lot of joy just knowing that these guys did the same work. These guys put in the same amount of hours that we have, and when they get to go in there and make some plays, it's kind of like it's paying off. I know that like Breon Ward, he caught a pick, probably his second or third drive in. Jeter, which is one of our DBs, he also caught a pick, and it's kind of just it's just joyful to see those guys go out there and make some plays and accomplish everything that they worked for.
Mike? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. God bless.
All right. Next up, making his 28th straight appearance in here will be center Logan Osbor.
Logan, since you've been around a little bit, 75 game significance for you, and maybe what are you saying to some of the guys who maybe don't know as much about it?
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest, especially for this team and for me. I kind of circle this game on my calendar every year just to go out here and respect what the former players have done for this program, respect for the sacrifice those people made, and just show off for the community. Just if we go out there and get a win, it brightens their day, brightens their week. For some, it brightens their whole year. So just this week is really critical. It's really important for us, and we really do respect it for sure.
Look, how do you kind of handle the ups and downs of the week? It's emotional. You go to the ceremony, you do the news conferences, and then you got to go out and bust it on Saturday. How do you kind of handle the ups and downs of what you guys go through?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. It's something you got to kind of. I think it's up to the individual how they treat that. For me, it's just every day, like just do a little research on something, try to find out something new on a new person or what their story and stuff. So for that, you take it day by day, hour by hour, just trying to really look at this tragedy and look back at those people.
For some, this is just an event. They don't know the story. But for you and for everyone on the team, there seems to be that connective tissue that makes it more than just a history event. What is that makes this so special and so enduring with people that maybe never experienced the tragedy or knew about it? You grew up after the fact. So, what is it about this and that connectivity that really makes this endure and that reverence?
I think a part of that is just the people that come back and talk to us, honestly. People that were directly impacted from this event, they come back and tell their story about their parents being, they were lost in the tragedy, and that goes hard in your soul, I think, and you truly get an understanding. Like your first year, you don't know, like you think you do, but every year you keep on growing and growing. It becomes a part of you, it becomes a part of how you go out here and prepare, because it's a part of you how you go out here and play each and every week.
When you look at Coastal Carolina, obviously a team with a good amount of talent. They just came off a win over App State and a couple of days extra of rest. But defensively, they've got guys at really all three levels that can impact the game. What do you see from them? And obviously a team that has kind of had your guys' number over the last couple of years.
First, when you first look at them, I think their D-line's great pass rushers from the interior and out. Number 50, he's a dynamic dude. He's real twitchy. He's got good hands. I think their linebackers are studs. Both of them, they're Mike and Will. And they fly around, they make plays, and they know how to fit runs, which has ultimately got some success. I think their back end is really good too. I mean, if you're going to run man all game, you got to have trust in your players, and obviously they do. So I think they're talented from top to bottom. I think they play really disciplined, really physical, so it's going to be a challenge for us for sure.
Coach mentioned that that's the last team in the East that you guys haven't beat. How much do you want to get a win over those guys after the last couple games?
I mean, 2 years in a row losing to them. I mean, you kind of got an edge to you, I'd say. So I mean, but you can't be out of control with it. Obviously, you got to come out this week. This week is going to be critical. Just having a great week of practice, going in here prepare the most. And just extra film and stuff. That's what's going to be key to ultimately winning this game.
All right. Anything further for Logan? All right. Next up, we got another guy that hinted around at his receiver skills last week. We got linebacker Landon Watson.
Landon, I guess we'll start with the week itself, with it being the 75 game. In your words, what's this mean, and what's your reaction to all of this?
Yeah, the 75 game has definitely grown on me. It being my second year here. Me coming here last year, me not knowing much of the history, and just being able to learn more and more, and learn that we're playing for something bigger than ourselves and bigger than Marshall is what I'm saying. So just playing for the community and the lost ones. So it has definitely grown on me. It's definitely important to me. Like Mike said, that's kind of how we prepare on a day-to-day basis, playing for them. But this week, just being a little bit more emotional and just being able to go out there and get a win for them.
How has the connectivity, you have a guy like Keith Morehouse, or you have a guy like Coach Dawson, that are still here, they can explain it to you. This isn't just something you read about in a book or a history lesson. This is real. So, how special is that, just to know that this is something tangible still to this day?
Yeah, it's definitely something special to me, from dating back all the way to fall camp, going out there during a hot August practice and seeing Coach Red in the stands and seeing him dedicated, seeing us go out there and him being out there at practice every day. It just means a little bit more to me, knowing that he was a part of that, and like all the coaching staff and stuff like that, knowing that he was a part of all that. So it just means a little bit more to knowing that it's something very, very special, something meaningful to very many people.
+3 in the turnover margin last week. Just how important is that to your guys' success moving forward to generate those takeaways and create some extra possessions for the offensive side?
Yeah, definitely. Our defensive coordinator, Coach Seymour, he definitely touched on our defense being a lot more productive in the turnover margin. Giving our offense more opportunities to get the ball. I feel like our offense is one of the best in the country. So with us, defense being able to get them more opportunities to go score and go put more points on the board is definitely something we've emphasized in the back end of the season. And we're just definitely trying to keep getting turnovers every game. We feel like if we get plus in the turnover margin, we should win the game.
How about a guy like Ian Foster comes out and has probably the best game of his career, and created a chance for you too?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I definitely made a lot of big plays, and credit to him for tipping that ball so I can intercept it. But just it's good seeing the young guys being able to develop from a year, because he came in with me last year as a young guy, and then being able to develop and get out there and make plays is definitely it's definitely good to see.
Some weapons on the Coastal Carolina offense, and it's kind of an offense that's changed a little bit over the course of the year. But with a different play caller now, coming from the head coach, and even in the last couple of weeks, they've kind of evolved. Does that make it a challenge to prepare for an offense like this, and who maybe stands out to you?
Yeah, well, they definitely have a good running back room. Been watching film on those guys. They run hard. They run behind their pads. The O-line's pretty solid. They just do a really good job, like, playing to their standards. So what we really have to do is play to our standard. Every opponent is a new opponent, but really, ultimately, on Saturday, we go out there and play against our standards. So as long as we, take care of what we need to do our job every play, and I think we'll get, the result.
All righty. Anything further for Landon? All righty. Thanks, Landon. Next up, we got running back Ethan Payne, one of two Paynes to score in last Saturday's game. He and I had to talk about that on the sideline. And a 100-yard game for Ethan as well last week.
I think you're still ahead in the touchdown count between brothers, but
I was keeping track on that.
I'm sure you were. Obviously to have a performance like that, not just you, but the entire offense last week, it seemed like it was foot on the gas the whole way, no matter who was in there. How big was that for this team to finish off a game like that and keep it going the whole 60 minutes?
It was huge, for our confidence too. But we talked about in the offensive room, we still feel like we haven't put it all together, for our complete game. So I think that's the emphasis this week, is putting a complete offensive game together.
What are you seeing from Coastal Carolina when you look at them? Maybe what stands out? Who stands out?
Tough, physical, play hard. Number one, the linebacker stands out to me. Big physical guy, can really run sideline to sideline. So, yeah, he's going to be a big challenge for us.
Ethan, how do you kind of balance the week? We all know what the significance of is, and then also come out Saturday and turn it up when you need to.
Balancing the week, I think each day we're learning something new about the 75. Most of the guys don't know, especially the ones that just joined the program. So as a leader and being here for 4 years, grab a guy, explain to them what it means to us, and balancing that to play a game Saturday is definitely a challenge.
How important is that connectivity? Knowing that this is it's something that happened, but it's not just something you learn in a history book. It's living. It's something that still, to this day has relevance, and there are still people who can tell the story. How important is that to just not to make this just another event?
Yeah, it's really important. Honoring the 75. So it's really important to grab a guy who may not know that someone who was affected by the plane crash, telling them all about it, and I think it's really important for them too.
There's a lot of a lot of hype around this game from the fan base, wanting people to come out and support the team. As you guys are kind of on a roll now towards the back end of the season, what is it like to see that support from the fan base? Realizing that you guys still have a lot of opportunity in front of you.
Yeah. The support from the program, from the fan base, is really important. It gets the team hyped, gets the team want to play really hard. I think there's going to be a big crowd here Saturday, so looking forward to it.
Does it feel different putting on the black uniform? Obviously, you haven't worn those black elements yet this year, but does it feel different when you suit up and know the significance of it?
Yeah, it's a different feeling when you run out of the tunnel in the 75 game. People told me that when I was a freshman. Kind of looked at them like, probably wouldn't, but it really did. You feel like something's with you when you run out the tunnel. So, yeah.
You mentioned, the offense feels like it hadn't, necessarily played its best game yet. What does it take to get to that point?
Well, we have a high standard in our offensive room. Scoring points every drive. That's our standard. Finishing drives, not turning the ball over, no penalties. We have a stat sheet in a goal sheet really. And the penalties is 0 for us. We want to have 0 penalties each game for an offensive perspective.
There was a lot of talk about the air raid offense, but the running backs have played a huge part. You kind of let the receivers know, hey, we're a big part of this too.
Yeah, the receivers open up the running game because it spreads everybody out. So big tribute to them.
One thing I'll ask you really quick, Ethan. You look at and 4 different rushers have led Marshall in 9 games. And to have 4 different guys leading the team, what does that speak to as far as the offensive line? I mean, it seems like it doesn't matter who's back there. Y'all are producing at a high level.
Doesn't matter who's, like you said, it doesn't matter who's back there. You know, they're opening up holes that anybody can run through. It's a big thank you to them, really, because they're the ones that make it happen.
And as he walks up there, next one we've got quarterback Braylon Braxton.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Breon. So since this is the 75 week, can you put into words what it truly means to you and just talk about the connectivity, you know, of how this is something you just don't read about it in a history book. It's living to this day.
You know, this being my first year at Marshall, obviously this is my first 75 game, so this is kind of a game that I've kind of pinpointed on the schedule all year. You know, everybody's telling me this game, it's not like any other game we're going to play in all season. You know, it just feels different. And, you know, like, this game is very special to Marshall because nobody else in the country has our story. So, like, we're the only team in the country that's ever been through a tragedy like this. And so I think it's really a real big deal, I would say.
How do they kind of relay that to you, Braylon? Before you get here, you may have heard the story, but then you're here, and it's like it kind of surrounds you, doesn't it?
Yeah, when we were in the team meeting yesterday, I kind of got some chills watching the videos and just hearing different people tell like where they were at the time and hearing the stories and hearing different people talk about it, hearing Coach Huff talk about it, just trying to explaining the significance of this game. Just like you just hear something, you're like wow, like hearing Coach Red Dawson's story, like. He got on the road to go recruit. He didn't get on the plane with the team. And, like, just to imagine just coming back and everything you know, everybody on your team, everyone in the organization just gone. Like, that's something crazy to think about. So,
You know, you talked a little bit about it after the game Saturday, but the offensive performance to be able to put up over 500 yards of offense, you know, what did that mean to you guys as an offensive unit, and how do you build off that, you know, going into this week?
yeah, I feel like I told you guys on Saturday, like, we put up we did some good things, but, like, we still have a lot that we could grow on. We could do a lot of things better. Penalties, you know, find a way to not turn the ball over, you know, finishing every drive in the end zone, you know, coming away every drive with points. Like, it's a lot of stuff that we could be doing out there that, you know, that could benefit our game and help our defense out a lot more. But, you know, we're definitely trending in the right direction, you know, with 3 or 4 games here down left in the stretch. But, I would definitely say we still just got a lot of stuff we can get better at and we can keep working at to make our offense very elite.
Well, looking at Coastal's defense, kind of what challenges do they bring to the offense, and kind of who stands out on Coastal defensively?
To me, I would say those 2 backers in the middle, number 1 and 34. Those guys are, you know, big, strong dudes. They play hard. They play the game the right way, and they're very sideline to sideline. You know, they're athletic, even though they are bigger guys. Also, I would say their defensive line, the way they pass rush, I would say those guys are up front are definitely problems. And then, like Ozzie said, you know, if Coach has the confidence to play man all game, that's probably a testament to their defensive backs that they have as well. You know, those guys are probably great players as well. But I feel like this is going to be a great challenge for our offense this week and really see where we match up against one of the top dogs in the conference.
Anything further for Bray? All righty.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Bray.